This movie opens on a beach. We are introduced to a little boy named Brecken. He is playing around like any other child. Soon Brecken's mother, Juna, calls him to come back home. After arriving, Brecken brushes his teeth. And strangely, Brecken eats a plastic from the trash can. Seeing this, Juna feels weird because Brecken is not like a normal human child. Juna then kills Brecken with a pillow because she cannot accept the strangeness that Brecken experiences. After that, Juna calls her husband, Lang, to tell him that their child has been killed by her. Lang does not need much time to come and see Brecken, who is already lifeless. Lang's face looks very devastated by this. The scene shifts to a room. Something is moving with a rather creepy sound. We are introduced to a woman named Caprice and a man who is lying on a rather scary device named Saul. It turns out that it is Saul's bed. Here, Saul looks sick. Actually, the bed is a technology in the future that can be used to make the human body adapt to plastic for a new mutation. Caprice sees the development of Saul's organs. Saul and Caprice are show surgeons. That means when they operate, they always show it to people. For that, they make new organs in Saul's body and give tattoos or pictures on the organs. The organs they make are usually from a very long mutation. For that, they need the latest technology to maintain the organs. An example is Saul's bed that looks weird. The bed is to maintain Saul's organs to mutate perfectly. After the organs become perfect, they also perform a show that will be watched by people. Then in a rather strange chair, Saul is seen having breakfast. He looks very difficult to swallow because his mutation is not perfect. It could be caused by the food he consumes that might not fit well in Saul's body. When night falls, Saul and Caprice walk to an organ surgery place. We are introduced to a man named Whippet and a woman named Timlin. Their purpose of coming to the place is to register a new organ belonging to Saul that he just made. Timlin and Whippet see Saul's new organ, and they are very impressed by it. Then Caprice records their activities. Timlin, who just realized that she was being recorded, immediately scolded Caprice to stop the recording. After arriving home, Caprice scolds Saul as usual because she does not like Timlin, who she thinks is weird. Not long after, two workers named Router and Burst come to check Saul's condition and fix his bed. They are surprised to see the devices that Saul used in his show. They are very amazed by the devices. The day of the show arrived. Saul was dissected by a robot controlled by Caprice. The robot picked up an organ that had a picture on it. The audience gasped in awe at the sight. Afterward, Timlin couldn't resist chatting with Saul in a seductive tone. She said that she was ready to be dissected at the next show. A man snatched Lang's food, but after eating it, he appeared to be poisoned. That meant Lang's food couldn't be eaten by everyone. At a police station, introduced to a man named Detective Cope, he asked for permission to register Saul's organs. The scene moved. It turns out that Saul's body is now working on new organs. There was a man whose body was filled with ears. That's very strange for normal humans. He moved to the rhythm of the music that accompanied him. It was part of the show Saul was putting on. Suddenly, a woman came and gave Saul the address of a cosmetic surgeon named Nassatir. She wanted Saul to have a new design for her show concept. Lang saw Saul and approached him to offer a new show concept. He had a child for autopsy material, because Lang's child's stomach in the past could digest plastic. For that, he wanted to autopsy his child, and it would be very interesting in a show. Saul went home and wanted to eat, but his body rejected the food again. After that, Saul and Caprice acted like a normal couple. They had sex. After they finished, Saul met with Cope. Interestingly, Saul is one of the police informants. He asks to meet with Juna in a prison and asks why she killed her own child. Juna explains that she doesn't want to see Brecken because Brecken has abnormal behavior that always eats plastic. In a room, Lang and his partner produce plastic to eat. No wonder his son Brecken eats plastic. Lang is an eating disordered person. On the other hand, Caprice asked him to perform in the upcoming show. Saul returns to Whippet's place and learns that Whippet will also enter the show contest. Unexpectedly, Timlin flirts with Saul, but Saul doesn't care. Another day passed. Saul and Caprice went to see Lang to see his son's body. Caprice couldn't bear to see Lang's dead child and planned to cancel the show. But Saul was curious and wanted to continue the show. Then Lang tried to give his food to Saul. Because Saul is a picky person, he also refused Lang's offer. Saul then met Cope. Cope asks Saul for help to catch Lang because Lang is a plastic eater. The scene then moves to Nassatir's place. Suddenly, Router and Burst arrived, however. For no apparent reason, they immediately killed him. On the other hand, Lang explains to Saul and Caprice about the ingredients and things they eat. They also have a fairly large network, which is 70 people in the city. Apparently, Lang was not born a plastic eater, but the result of surgery that made him a plastic eater. However, strangely, his son Brecken is a pure plastic eater. The night of the show arrives. The guests come with great enthusiasm to watch Saul and Caprice's performance. They play a device to perform surgery on Brecken's organs. But unexpectedly, something hidden in Brecken's organs conveys a very horrifying message, namely the violence and despair that Brecken experienced in his lifetime. Seeing this, Lang leaves and is very frustrated. Router and Burst approach Lang and kill him immediately. Maybe because they think that Lang is the real perpetrator of violence. The movie ends with Saul eating food made by Lang. It turns out that Saul is more calm and comfortable, and his body accepts the food, which means Saul is also one of the plastic eaters, and the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.